Well, it's the morning walk around, and there was a thunderstorm this morning that started before 3 and finished after 5, so it's a bit damp. And as you can see, the drain here hasn't, because we still have a pile of rocks in it, but it's being reduced. So let's go and look around the back. The mixer's back in service. I heard it reversing a few times this morning, so I think this might be second or third mix that's being made currently. And lots of rendering going on the fence. See, I'll remember to call the fence this time. So there's what, 5 people here working on it. Let's see what's happening on the building itself. Well, it appears to be getting a wash, which seems a bit redundant given the thunderstorm we had. Now, in the previous video I mentioned that the last 2 sections underneath were yet to be done. Well, that's getting done. And they're still doing the formwork inside the tank for ready to build the roof for that. So we have a fair crew working on it currently. A lot of the scaffolding's been removed from the walkway between the building and the tanks, but the cross pieces there are still low enough that I'm not going to walk through there. Just bang my head again. I do that far too often. I think I might stand back. That's a safer distance to avoid being splashed by concrete. But I can see that one of the headlights up there is stopped entirely now. I think it's just a bad connection, because at one stage it was sort of partially operating, but no, we'll see. But I've heard from Indo Tara about a team coming out to give us some training, and I've said, yeah, let us finish mixing this concrete first so that we can take some time to clean up the machine and the mixer. Otherwise I won't be confident that we can get that mixer connected back on again if we remove it. If you have pressure build-up in the hydraulic hoses, you can't get the quick couplers pressed together. So the way to fix that is to loosen off one of the connections on the attachment and ease the pressure before making the quick coupler connection, and then tighten up the connection again. And we've done that previously on that mixer, but the connection we loosen off is actually currently embedded in concrete in that valve box on top. So I need to get a chance to do some proper cleaning there to re-establish the ability to loosen that connection. I don't know whether he does it from that high so that he can see whether it's being opened or not. It does seem that would just cause it to splash more. Not quite sure what that was about, whether it was too thin or what. But it looks to be a render/mortar mix rather than concrete, because it doesn't have gravel in it. And there he is over there removing the formwork from underneath the... Oh no, the formwork's further across. Just removing some casting artefacts. More sand, yeah, pick up the mix. Well. Rain gutter on the far side works. It's dribbling water. Well, on this side, yep, a little bit too. I hope it's not puddling in there because we don't need more sources of mosquitoes. See if it's too muddy or whether I can go down and have a look at no, I don't think I need to go down there. I can see there's nobody working on the canal extension. So let's see where the piles of rock go. Kind of looking like that's a bit more firm there now. The soft bits that they just ran through there, that was where the compact track loader had driven through and turned. So that's holes that have been filled in. I kind of get the impression that the numbers of the team members are up again. Those 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 I can see. I need to wait for him to have deposited that mix there, otherwise I'm likely to be walking past just as he's wanting to dump it out and get splashed. All up in the couplings and oh god. going to be a challenge getting all that surplus dried concrete off later on. My plan for that is to wait until I finish mixing concrete, then use the pressure washer and blast it all off. Oh, we're done. So it's safe to walk past now. Well, it's the middle of the day project progress check, and going to be going to Panimbang this afternoon, so it's going to be a bit damp on the roads. But I can see water flowing in here, so it's actually flowing through the rock. So that's greatly reduced, so it won't be long now before they clean this mess up, give people back their front yard. One of the reasons I go and check out the front is because it takes me past the ice factory here where my roof is currently. So eventually they're going to start turning that sea channel into triangular web trusses. But hasn't happened yet. On the north side of the south fence is largely rendered up to the end of the building slab, almost. But there's still a fair expanse to do. Let's have a look on the other side. We seem to have several panels completely rendered, and we have depth bars for the rest of it. There's another panel there that's rendered. I don't know why they do them sporadically like that. But yeah, there's a long way to the end of the fence. Don't quite know why my piece of railway iron is here, but as long as it's useful and doesn't go missing. That will end up in my workshop eventually, along with my wrecking bar. I wonder if I can sneak up this ladder. No, I don't trust that one to support me. Shall poke the camera up and hope to be able to look at it later. We have various piles of rock sitting around. One over there, one here, and then this one is the one that seems to be growing. Don't quite understand the placement of them. Well, a lot about this stuff I don't understand. I just see the end result and say, oh, so that's what they were doing. And as you can see, it's been a bit wet again. There's puddles lying around to make it a bit muddy. There's some cement sheet under that plastic there that's just been delivered or collected by Azra. Don't quite understand what that's for, unless it's too late now. Actually, maybe it'll go on top of the wooden formwork I think they've put up there, because Azra did send me a video earlier on WhatsApp. So maybe that'll be the underside of the roof for the tanks. Well, based on this, we did actually have quite a bit of rain last night, or this morning, again. And the tide's come back in on the service pit by the look of it. Yeah, that's come up quite a way. Well, he must have decided he wanted a bigger tank. That was the one he bought originally, 520 litre. This would be a 1050 like the ones up there. Okay. Looks like that's the only bit of the east fence left to be done, apart from tidying up the top. So we're starting to get depth bars and the first serving of render on the western section of the south fence. So that's on the north side of it. I'll go and see if I can see on the south side of it. And I've done the same on that side. So progress is good. Haven't got far up this way, but oh well, it'll happen. So it looks like there's some surplus cement along the south side of the south rain gutter. I'm sure that'll be tidied up. So I have a short clip that Azra sent me in WhatsApp, a view of the top. I'll give you that without any narration, because that's the part that gets chopped up when I try and combine videos. It's the morning walk around, and I've got the drain largely cleared out, which is just as well, because it rained again overnight, and the forecast for rain for the next 4 days is around the 90% mark. Not a lot left here to be moved though, that's good. I've heard steel reinforcing rods being dragged past my lounge room a few times this morning, so work is afoot. Appears to be being brought back from the shed to be worked on here. I don't quite understand, but then again, frequently I don't. You can see the bigger bolt cutters I've bought getting a bit of wear and tear. One of the handles is not too flash, but that's because they put it on the ground and then lean on the other one to try and cut the rod. It's still not easy, even with metre long handles on bolt cutters. Yep, it's a bit wet, so I'm forecasting the service pit's going to be full. Well, not quite, but pretty near. Okay, so it's apparent those rods that Azra is working on are for on top of the tanks. Not quite sure how this is going to work, because I've seen we have sort of the smaller rectangles between the reinforcement cages up there. I'm thinking if they cut pieces out of that and then wire them up in those rectangles, that would work best, but I'm not in charge. I'm just the funding body and the client. I see they're geared up for a manual mixed over there, so presumably that is for more rendering of the fence. Not quite sure when we're going to get to actually do roofing of the tanks. Hopefully soon. I've found that my additional batteries for the house off-grid system are coming second week of February, and at that stage the engineer will survey this building to study installation for the next system. So I'm hoping it'll be to the stage where we have a roof on it. That's what I'll be wanting to see. with the help of my friend John with the material strength side of things, I've finalised what my design for the crane bridge is going to look like. So I'll go away and I'll do physical drawings on paper with lots and lots of dimensions for some engineering firm to do the metal plates required. And I've also ordered paint. I figure I'm going to need anti-rust paint for all these things. I need to get them all painted while they're down on the ground rather than before they go up in the air. Apart from the bits that will be welded, some parts will have to be welded once we've got the thing assembled up in the correct position. Lots of fun. Well, it's the afternoon circuit, and I guess they must have more important things than moving this, although they might have found a new destination for it. The last little bit is getting done now on the east side of the fence. The fence rendering is continuing down to the end eventually, and you can see both sides are being done. Both sides are being done, and there's work proceeding with beautifying the west end of the workshop still, and seems to be a lot of work going on wiring reinforcement on the tank roof. So they've got little bits of wire there that they use to twisting bits together. So work continues. Now that my design for the crane trolleys are finalised, I just need to receive the first wheel to confirm that the shaft diameter that it rides on will be a 19mm shaft. Once I have that confirmation, I can submit my plans for the plates to get manufactured somewhere. I've spoken before about the uncontrolled breeding of cats around here. There's far too many, and they're not well behaved when it comes to toileting. So this area in front of Santa's house and our house in the courtyard was becoming a toilet, and they weren't exactly covering up. In fact, I can see some down here in the concrete, which I won't show you, which has got no hope of being covered up. Consequently, it pongs. We're going to put an end to that. Can't do much about the cats, but we can encourage them not to go to the toilet here. And considering there's several tons of sand out the back, I think it's pretty poor, really. And here we go. Here's a fully equipped male cat, and he's no doubt going to wander inside Santa's house and mark his territory. Not ideal. That's one of the reasons why there's auto-closing doors on the external doors for our house. No more cats wandering in. There's a giant cat's toilet and they're not actually using it. Well, maybe they are, but they're still going out the front of our house. Not good. More steel has been delivered, so I kind of think they're going to be using woven rod on top of the tanks instead of using the mesh. I suspect that mesh is actually going to be inside for another layer of floor that they're going to lay. So they're prettying up the window openings, and much of the beam work has been done up top. Well, there's one that hasn't been done yet, and the ones up the end there they can do the sides of, and that one there's got a divot out of it. I'm sure they'll do more with that, and then they'll start doing the lower stuff, patching up columns and so forth. And yeah, I do believe that there's going to be another 5cm layer of floor in here with possibly that Rio mesh in it. Make it strong. Well, it looks like they've used some of this concrete short sheet to surround the manhole entrances, so when they remove the wood that will be exposed. Rendering the back fence has come a long way. Bit more to do tomorrow. Okay, so we've got depth bars along a fair bit of the back there, but there's still a fair bit here to do yet. So yeah, it might be a couple more days yet on this. Nothing more has been done on the canal extension lately. That'll be because there's farming going on. Well, this video is getting a bit long again. I'll show you a screen capture of my crane trolley design and the drawings I've produced for sending out to engineers, but I won't give you narration over the top since the sound goes away. And that's how this video will end.